Well, hello and welcome. My name is Lanita. I am the Scrappy Grandma, and I read the Bible on YouTube. um, so this is my Books of the Bible playlist, and currently we are in the Book of Exodus. So this is the Book of Exodus in my Books of the Bible playlist, and we are beginning in we are beginning Exodus 6. Then we're going to go 6 through 10. I do about five chapters. So, and let's share my screen. Where is it? There it is. And do this one. And there we go. There we go. All right. So Exodus 6:1. Make sure I'm on. All right. And Yah said to Moses, Yah, the Most High, the Father, Yahweh, Yahuwah, God. Um, so, so Yah said to Moshe, now see what I do to Pharaoh. For with a strong hand, he is going to let them go. And with a strong hand, he's going to drive them out of his land. And Elohim spoke to Moshe and said to him, I am Yahweh. And I appeared to Abraham and to Yitzhak, Isaac, and to Jacob, as El Shaddai, and by my name Yahweh was I not known to them. And I also established my covenant with them to give them the land of Canaan, the land of their sojournings, in which they have sojourned. And I have also heard the groanings of the children of Israel, whom Mitzrayim are enslaving, and I have remembered my covenant. So say, therefore, to the children of Israel, I am Yahweh, and I shall bring you out from under the burdens of the Mitzrayites, and shall deliver you from their enslaving, and shall redeem you with an outstretched arm and with great judgments. And shall take you as my people, and I shall be your Elohim, and you shall know that I am Yahweh, your Elohim, who is bringing you out from under the burdens of the Mitzrayites. And I shall bring you into the land which I swore to give to Abraham, Yitzhak, and Jacob, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, to give it to you as an inheritance. I am Yahweh. And Moshe spoke thus to the children of Israel, but they did not listen to Moshe because of shortness of spirit and from hard slavery. And Yah spoke to Moshe, saying, go in and speak to Pharaoh, sovereign of Mitzrayim, Egypt, to let the children of Israel go out of his land. And Moshe spoke before Yah, saying, hot. The children of Israel have not listened to me, and why would Pharaoh listen to me? For I am of uncircumcised lips. And Yah spoke to Moshe and to Aaron and gave them a command for the children of Israel and for Pharaoh, sovereign of Mitzrayim, to bring the children of Israel out of the land of Mitzrayim. Now we're going to go into the genealogy of Moses and Aaron. These are the heads of their fathers' houses. The son of Reuben, the firstborn of Israel, Hanach and Pelu, Hetzron and Carmi. These are the clans of Reuben. And these are the sons of Simeon, Yamuel and Yamin and Ohad and Yakin and Sohar and Shaul, the son of the Canaanite woman. These are the clans of Shimeon. And these are the names of the sons of Levi, according to their generations: Gershom, Hekath, and Merari. And remember these names, those three names, because they're pivotal in when the tabernacle's built, and priests and what their bloodline and family tree does is awesome. So, and the years of life of Levi are 137. And the sons of Gershom, Libni and Shimni, according to their clans. And the sons of Kahath, Amram and Yitzhar and Hebron and Uzziel. And the years of the life of Kehath were 133. And the sons of Merari, Mahali, and Mushi, these are the clans of Levi, according to their generations. And Amram took for himself Jochebed, his father's sister, as wife, so his aunt. And in the extra biblical books, I mean, she is a lot older than him. So anyway, she bore him Aharon and Moshe, but she also had Miriam. So Aaron, Miriam, and Moshe. And Miriam was the one who went with him, and watched him when he was in the basket in the Nile. And the years of the life of Amram were 137. And the sons of Yitzhar, Korah, and Nepheg, and Zikri, and the sons of Uzziel, Mishael, and Etzvan, and Sithri. Aaron took for himself Elishba, daughter of Amminadab, sister of Nahshon, as wife, and she bore him Nadab and Abihu, Eleazar, and Ithamar. Down the road, sadly, Nadab and Abihu end up not in such a good way. So it's awesome, and Eleazar becomes the high priest after Aaron. So it's cool as you read these now and you remember and recognize who a lot of these people are. And the sons of Korah, Asher, Elkanah, yes, blah, blah, blah. These are the clans of the Korites. And Eleazar, Aaron's son, took for himself one of the daughters of Petiel as wife, and she bore him Phinehas. Yay, Phinehas. In our Torah portion a couple weeks ago, we went through what, Phinehas. So a lot of this is all making sense down the road. So these are the heads of the fathers of the Levites according to their clans. This is Aharon and Moshe, to whom Yahweh said, bring out the children of Israel from the land of Mitzrayim according to their divisions. They were the ones who spoke to Pharaoh, sovereign of Mitzrayim, to bring the children of Israel from Mitzrayim. This is Moshe and Aharon. And it came to be on the day when Yah spoke to Moshe in the land of Mitzrayim, that Yahweh spoke to Moshe, saying, I am Yahweh, speak to Pharaoh, sovereign of Mitzrayim, all that I say to you. And Moshe said before Yah, see, I have an of uncircumcised lips. Why would Pharaoh listen to me? 7. So Yah said to Moshe, see, I have made you an Elohim. And this means a mighty one, to Pharaoh. And Aaron, your brother, is your prophet. You shall speak all that I command you, and Aaron, your brother, shall speak to Pharaoh to let the children of Israel go out of his land. But I'm going to harden the heart of Pharaoh, and shall increase my signs and my wonders in the land of Mitzrayim. And Pharaoh is not going to listen to you, and I shall lay my hand on Mitzrayim and bring my divisions, my people, the children of Israel, out of the land of Mitzrayim by great judgments. It's interesting in life where, he divides to bring us more to himself. So every time you're going through something where you feel like you're losing something, remember that when he divides, he brings you closer to him. When he strips some things away, it's so that you can get closer to him. It's giving up idols, things that are maybe more important to us than they should be. And then it's painful, but he always ends up bringing it about as good. So anyway, but I am going to harden the heart of Pharaoh and shall increase my sign. Okay, and Mitzrayim, there we go. And the Mitzrayim shall know that I am Yahweh when I stretched out my hand on Mitzrayim, and I shall bring the children of Israel out from among them. And Moshe and Aaron did as Yah commanded them, so they did. And Moshe was 80 years old, and Aaron was 83 years old when they spoke to Pharaoh. And Yah spoke to Moshe and to Aharon, saying, when Pharaoh speaks to you, saying, show a miracle for yourselves, then you shall say to Aaron, take your rod and throw it before Pharaoh and let it become a serpent. So Moshe and Aaron went to Pharaoh, and they did so as Yah commanded. And Aaron threw his rod before Pharaoh and before his servants, and it became a serpent. But Pharaoh also called the wise men and the practicers of witchcraft, and they, the magicians of Mitzrayim, also did so with their magic. And they each one threw down his rod, and they became serpents, but the rod of Aharon swallowed up the rods. And Pharaoh's heart was strengthened, and he did not listen to them, as Yah had said. The first plague, water turned to blood. And Yah said to Moshe, the heart of Pharaoh is hard, and he refuses to let the people go. Go to Pharaoh in the morning as he goes out to the water, and you shall stand by the riverbank to meet him, and take your hand and the rod which you've turned into a serpent, and you shall say to him, Yah, the Elohim of the Hebrews, has sent me to you, saying, let my people go, so that they serve me in the wilderness. But see, until now you have not listened. Thus says Yah, by this you know that I am Yahweh. See, I am striking the waters which are in the river with the rod that is in my hand, and they shall turn to blood. And the fish of the river shall die, and the river shall sink, and the Mitzrayites shall find it impossible to drink the water of the river. And Yah spoke to Moshe, saying to Aharon, say to Aharon, take your rod, stretch out your hand over the waters of Mitzrayim, over the streams, over the rivers, over the ponds, and over the pools of water, that they become blood. And there shall be blood in all the land of Mitzrayim, both in wooden and stone containers. And Moshe and Aharon did as Yah commanded, and he lifted up his rod and struck the waters that were in the river in the eyes of Pharaoh and in the eyes of his servants. And all the waters that were in the river were turned to blood. And the fish that were in the river died, and the river stank. I can imagine. Ugh. And the Mitzrayites were unable to drink the water of the river. The blood was in all the land of Mitzrayim. And the magicians of Mitzrayim did the same with their magic, and the heart of Pharaoh was strengthened, and he did not listen to them, as Yah had said. And Pharaoh turned and went into his house, and his heart was not moved by this either. And all the Mitzrayites drug all around the river for water to drink, for they were unable to drink the water of the river. And 7 days were completed after Yah had struck the river. 8. And Yah spoke to Moshe, go to Pharaoh and say to him, thus says Yahweh, let my people go, so that they serve me. But if you refuse to let them go, see, I am smiting all of your borders with frogs. And the river shall swarm with frogs, which shall go up and shall come into your house, into your bedroom, and onto your bed, and onto the house of your servants, and on your people, and into the ovens, and into the kneading bowls. Ugh. And the frogs shall come up on you, and on your people, and on your servants. And Yah said to Moshe, say to Aharon, stretch out your hand with the rod over the streams, and over the rivers, and over the ponds, and cause frogs to come up from the land of Mitzrayim. So Aharon stretched out his hand over the waters of Mitzrayim, and the frogs came up and covered the land of Mitzrayim. And the magicians did so with their magic, and brought up frogs on the land of Mitzrayim. And Pharaoh then called for Moshe and Aharon and said, pray to Yahweh to take away the frogs from me and from my people, and I shall let the people go to slaughter to Yahweh. And Moshe said to Aharon, or to Pharaoh, explain yourself to me. When am I to pray for you and for your servants and for your people to destroy the frogs from you and your house and remain only in the river? So he said, tomorrow. And he said, let it be according to your word, so that you will know that there is no one like Yahweh, our Elohim. And the frogs shall turn aside from you, and from the houses, and from the servants, and from the people. They shall remain in the river only. And Moshe said to Aharon, and Moshe and Aharon went out from Pharaoh, and Moshe cried out to Yahweh concerning the frogs which he had brought against Pharaoh. And Yah did according to what Moshe and the frogs died out of the homes, on the country courtyards, and out of the fields. And there's just a bunch of dead frogs now. And they gathered them together in heaps, and the land stank. The blood, and now the stinky frogs. Oof. and be flies. Huh. And when Pharaoh saw that there was relief, he hardened his heart and did not listen to them, as Yah had said. The third plague, gnats. And Yah said to Moshe, say to Aaron, stretch out your rod and strike the dust of the land so it becomes gnats in all the land of Mitzrayim. And they did so. And Aharon stretched out his hand with the rod and struck the dust of the earth, and it became gnats on the men and beasts. All the dust of the land became gnats in all the land of Mitzrayim. And the magicians did similarly with their magic to bring forth gnats, and but they were unable. And there were gnats on man and beast. And the magician said to Pharaoh, this is the finger of Elohim. But the heart of Pharaoh was strengthened, and he did not listen to them, as Yah had said. The fourth plague, flies. And I would imagine you've got all the blood. Now you've got the dead frogs and gnats. And I don't know if you've ever been hiking where there's gnats. It's irritating because they just want to get in your face and your ears and your eyes, and it's disgusting. And now the flies. And Yah said to Moshe, rise early in the morning and stand before Pharaoh as he comes out to the water, and say to him, thus says Yahweh, let my people go so that they may serve me. Or else, if you do not let my people go, I am sending swarms of flies on you and your servants and on your people and into your houses and the houses of the Mitzrayites. So Mitzrayites shall be filled with swarms of flies, and also the ground on which they stand. And in that day I shall separate the land of Goshen in which my people dwell, that no swarms of flies shall be there, so that you know that I am Yah in the midst of the land. So I'm curious, then the land of Goshen also, because it didn't say anything, so they must have had the blood, and they must have had the frogs, and they must have had the gnats, and now he's like withholding and protecting them from the flies. And I shall put a ransom between my people and your people. Tomorrow this sign shall be. And Yah did so, and thick swarms of flies came into the house of Pharaoh and into his servant's house and into all the land of Mitzrayim, and the land was ruined because of the swarm of flies. Pharaoh then called Moshe and Aharon and said, go slaughter to your Elohim in the land. And Moshe said, it is not right to do so, for we would be slaughtering the abomination of the Mitzrayites to Yah, our Elohim. See, if we slaughter the abomination of the Mitzrayites before their eyes, would they not stone us? Let us go 3 days' journey into the wilderness. Then we shall slaughter to Yahweh, our Elohim, as he commanded us. So I'm curious with this, probably because they were slaughtering a cow, an ox, and the Mitzrayims find them maybe sacred, maybe. I mean, the golden calf, they obviously worship cows in Egypt. So I'm just curious what this meant here. That would be an abomination of the Mitzrayites, probably to slaughter the cow and on the altar. I don't know. I'll have to I'll go. So that was, we're in 8. 8:26. Exodus. I'll look that up and see if I can find anything about that. So let us go 3 days' journey into the wilderness. Then we shall slaughter to Yah our Elohim as he commands us. And Pharaoh said, I am letting you go. Then you shall slaughter to Yah your Elohim in the wilderness. Only do not go very far away. Pray for me. And Moshe said, see, when I leave, you shall say, pray to Yahweh. And tomorrow the swarms of flies shall depart from Pharaoh and his servants and from his people, but do not let Pharaoh again deceive, not to let the people go slaughter to Yahweh. And Moshe went out from Pharaoh and prayed to Yah, and Yah did according to the word of Moshe and removed the swarms of flies from Pharaoh and from his servants and from his people. Not one remained. But Pharaoh hardened his heart at this time too, and did not let the people go. And Yah said to Moshe, go into Pharaoh and speak to him. Thus says Yah, Elohim of the Hebrews, let my people go so that they may serve me. For if you refuse to let them go and are still holding them, see, the hand of Yah is on your livestock in the field, on the horses and the donkeys and the camels and the cattle, and on the sheep, a very grievous pestilence. And and Yah shall separate between the livestock of Israel and the livestock of Mitzrayim, and let no matter die of all that belongs to the children of Israel. And Yah set an appointed time, saying, tomorrow Yah is going to do this word in the land. And Yah did this word the next day, and all the livestock of Mitzrayim died, but the livestock of the children of Israel did not, one died. Then Pharaoh sent, and see, not even one livestock of Israel was dead, but the heart of Pharaoh was hardened, and he did not let the people go. The sixth plague, boils. Ooh. And Yah said to Moshe and Aaron, fill your hands with ashes from the furnace, and let Moshe scatter it towards the heavens before the eyes of Pharaoh. And it shall become a fine dust in all the land of Mitzrayim, and it shall cause boils that break out in sores on man and beast in all the land of Mitzrayim. Sorry. So they took ashes from the furnace and stood before Pharaoh, Moshe scattering them towards the heavens, and they caused boils, breaking out in sores on man and beast. And the magicians were unable to stand before Moshe because of the boils, for the boils were on the magicians and all the Mitzrayites. But Yah strengthened the heart of Pharaoh, and he did not listen to them, as Yah had said to Moshe. You know, and I was always like, why is he making him harden his heart and then so that he can do all this stuff? But from what I've heard, and it would actually be a good thing for me to research myself, the plagues, hold on. Sorry. And then it was one of those stupid calls where they don't answer. So anyway, the seventh plague, hail. Oh, anyway, so why did he harden his heart? And from what I've heard is that all of the plagues that were on Egypt, Mitzrayim, were plagues against their gods. So it was kind of like showing that their gods don't have any strength because they were attacks against all of their gods. But I'm going to do some research on the plagues and Egypt's gods. Okay. And Yah said to Moshe, rise early in the morning and stand before Pharaoh and say to him, thus says Yah, Elohim of the Hebrews, let my people go so that they may serve me. For at this time I am sending all my plagues into your heart, unto your heart, and on all your servants and all your people, so that you know that there is no one like me in all the earth. Now, if I had stretched out my hand and struck you and your people with pestilence, then you would have been cut off from the earth. And for this reason, I have raised you up in order to show you my power. Okay, here's my answer. He did all this to show his power and in order to declare my name in all of the earth. You still exalt yourself against my people. In this, you do not let them go. See, tomorrow about this time, I am causing very heavy hail to rain down, such as not been seen in Mitzrayim from the day of its founding until now. And now send, bring your livestock to safety and all that you have in the field, for the hail shall come down on every man and every beast which is found in the field. It is not brought home, they shall die. Those among the servants of Pharaoh who feared the word of Yah made their servants and livestock flee to the houses. But those who did not set their heart on the word of Yah let their servants and lives left them in the field. And Yah said to Moshe, stretch out your hand toward the heaven, and let there be hail in all the land of Mitzrayim, on man and on beast, and on every plant of the field throughout the land of Mitzrayim. And Moshe stretched out his rod towards the heaven, and Yah sent thunder and hail, and fire came down to the earth, and Yah rained hail on the land of Mitzrayim. Thus there came to be hail and fire flashing continually in the midst of the hail, very heavy, such had not been seen in all the land of Mitzrayim since the beginning of it, since it became a nation. And the hail struck in all the land of Mitzrayim, all that was in the field, both man and beast. And the hail struck every plant and in the field and broke every tree of the field. Only in the land of Goshen, where the children of Israel were, was there no hail. Pharaoh then sent and called for Moshe and for Aharon and said to them, I have sinned this time. Yah is righteous, and my people and I are wrong. Pray to Yah, and for there has been enough of the thunder and the hail of Elohim, and I am letting you go so that you stay no longer. And Moshe said to him, as soon as I go out of the city, let me spread out my hands to Yah, let the thunder cease and the hail be no more, so that you know that the earth belongs to Yahweh. But as for you and your servants, I know that you do not yet fear before Yah, your Elohim. And the flax and the barley were struck, and the barley was in the head, and the flax was in the bud. But the wheat and the spelt were not struck, for they were later crops. And Moshe went out of the city from Pharaoh and spread out his hands, and the thunder and the hail ceased, and the rains was not poured out on the earth. And Pharaoh saw that the rain and the hail and the thunder had ceased, yet he sinned again, and he hardened his heart, and he and his servants, and the heart of Pharaoh was strengthened, and he did not let the children of Israel go, as Yah had said through Moshe. And Yah said to Moshe, go into Pharaoh, for I have hardened his heart and the heart of his servants, so that I show these signs of mine before him, and that you relate in the hearing of your son and your son's son what I have done in Mitzrayim, and my signs which I have done among them. And you shall know that I am Yahweh. And Moshe and Aharon came into Pharaoh and said to him, thus says Yah, the Elohim of the Hebrews, till when shall you refuse to humble yourself before me? Let my people go so that they may serve me. Or else, if you refuse to let my people go, see, tomorrow I am bringing locusts within your borders, and they shall cover the surface of the land so that no one is able to see the land, and they shall eat the rest of what has escaped, which remains to you from the hail, and they shall eat every tree which grows up for you out of the field. And you shall fill your houses and they shall fill your houses and the houses of all your servant and the houses of all the Mitzrayites, which neither your fathers nor your fathers' fathers have seen since the day that they were on the earth to this day. Then he turned and he went out from Pharaoh. And Pharaoh's servant said to him, till when would this one be a snare to us? Till when would this one be a snare to us? Let the man go so that they serve Yah their Elohim. And do you not yet know that Mitzrayim is destroyed? And Moshe and Aharon were brought back to Pharaoh, and he said to them, go, serve Yah your Elohim, who are the ones that are going. And Moshe said, we are going with our young and our old, and with our sons and our daughters, with our flock and with our herds. We are going, for we are a festival to Yahweh. Ooh, I never noticed that before. How cool. For we have a festival to Yah. And he said to them, let Yah be with you as I let you go and your little ones go. Watch for evil is for evil is before your face. Not so. You men go now and serve Yah, for that is what you desire. And they were driven out from the presence of Pharaoh. And Yah said to Moshe, stretch out your hand on the land of Mitzrayim for the locusts to come upon the land, the Mitzrayim, and eat every plant of the land, all that the hail has left. I missed something in here. And he said, let Yah be with you, and let you and your little ones go out. As I let you and your little ones go out, watch for evil is before your face. Not so. You men go now and serve Yah, for that is what you desired. And they were driven out from the presence. Okay. And Moshe stretched out his rod over the land of Mitzrayim, and Yah brought an east wind on the land all that day and all that night. Morning came, and the east wind brought the locusts. And the locusts went up over all the land of Mitzrayim and settled within the borders of Mitzrayim, very grievous. There had never been locusts like this before, nor there again be like them. And they covered the surface of all the land so that the land was darkened, and they ate every plant of the land and all the fruits of the trees which hail had left, and no greenness was left on the trees or in the plants in the field in the land of Mitzrayim. Pharaoh then called for Moshe and Aharon in haste and said, I have sinned against Yahweh your Elohim and against you. And now please forgive my sin only this once, and pray to Yahweh your Elohim that he would only turn away his death from me. And he went out from Pharaoh and he prayed to Yah. And Yah turned a very strong west wind, which took the locusts away and blew them into the Sea of Reeds. Not one locust was left within the border of Mitzrayim. However, Yah strengthened the heart of Pharaoh, and he did not let the children go. The ninth plague, darkness. And Yah said to Moshe, stretch out your hand toward the heavens and let there be darkness over the land of Mitzrayim, even a darkness which is felt. And Moshe stretched out his hand toward the heaven, and there was a thick darkness in all the land of Mitzrayim for 3 days. And they did not see one another, nor did anyone rise from his place for 3 days, while all the children of Israel had light in their dwellings. And Pharaoh called to Moshe and said, go serve Yahweh, only leave your flocks and your herds behind. Let your little ones go with you too. But Moshe said, you yourself are to provide us with slaughterings and ascending offerings to prepare for Yahweh, our Elohim. And our livestock are to go with us. Not a hoof is to be left behind, for we have to take some of them to serve Yah, our Elohim, and we ourselves do not know with which we are to serve Yah until we come there. However, Yah strengthened the heart of Pharaoh, and he would not let them go. And Pharaoh said to him, go away from me, watch yourselves and see my face no more, for in the day you see my face, you die. And Moshe said, you have spoken rightly. Never again do I see your face. Ooh, dun, dun, dun. So we're going to leave off there, and we'll pick it up again next week. Let me stop sharing. So thank you so much for joining me, and I hope this blessed you. Father God, let this go out to whoever you want to hear it, and let it be a blessing. In Yahushua's name, amen. All right, we'll see you next week.